All right, let's take a look at ID selectors. An ID selector is a way to select something based on another HTML attribute called ID. And so we can say in this one here, let's make some space here. We can say the ID for select me is going to be the title. And we do this, we select this one with a number sign. And so in CSS, we can go back to our style element here. I'll just move that up a bit. We can do ID, the title, and this is case sensitive as well. And we can change this to have, let's say, text decoration of underline. So in the last lesson, what we did was we selected this element, and this element, and we applied different styling to it. In this lesson, we're going to select me by its ID, and we're going to give this an underline. So let's go ahead and refresh, and it's now underlined. And the reason that's not blue is because in the last lesson, I was telling you how this is super case sensitive. That was the case here. Let's go ahead and refresh this. Now it's blue, it's underlined, and it's uppercased. And we're using multiple selectors here. So this H1 element has the blue styling, has uppercase styling, and it has an ID called the title. And once again, that ID just starts with the number sign. The rest of the syntax is identical to an element selector, like what we saw originally, a class selector, like what we saw in the last video, and all it is that curly brace, your declaration, and then a closing curly brace. Now, one thing to note about IDs is they should be completely unique. So you can, in theory, write ID is equal to the title, just like we have up here. And this is going to select both of these because they're identical. And we should only ever have one ID. It's like your driver's license or your government ID, like your passport. There only should ever be the one document in existence. And just like an ID here, there should only ever be one. But we're saying that, hey, there's one selector, but it's being applied twice. Let's see what happens here. So you can see that our browser did not honor the rule. It actually made this underlined as well. Now that is, I guess that's fine, but please don't do this. What we should be doing is the title, and this could be like the subtitle. IDs should always be unique. Now, why this is important is because after CSS, you're going to be learning JavaScript, and JavaScript has the ability to grab an element by its ID. And if there are two of them, it's only going to grab the first one, and you might possibly want the second one, and that could really mess up your coding and cause hours of frustration. You don't want that. So always make sure your IDs are completely unique.